So this is pretty close. In fact, I think the main deck is card for card the same deck list we played that a viewer had submitted last time. I was pretty happy with this build. Someone commented on no Rix Maddie. I think I'm happy with no Rix Maddie, just between like Treasure Map and Karn and Angrath and Phoenix. Like, we have a lot of ways that generate card advantage in this archetype, so I think I'm happy with no Rix. Just go ahead and dive into some matches and see how it goes. I think Rekindling Phoenix is a pretty uniquely powerful card in the format right now. Like, if you just think about like what decks Rekindling Phoenix is good against, Rekindling Phoenix is good against Sultai, it's good against Mono Blue, it's good against Drakes, it's good against Esper Control. It's basically good against everything other than white aggro, and against white aggro we're a Chainwhirler deck, so the advantage you get from having chat. Definitely, my rank right now is definitely fully attributed to chat advantage. 10 out of 10. Have a shock plus the combo in our opener. For those not familiar, the combo is when you play Goblin Chainwhirler, you can hold priority in response to its trigger and then status it to kill every creature your opponent has in play. Yeah, there should be another Rakdos Guildgate over Cindervines. Angrath is very, very good in this format. Angrath steals Krasis and then kills them. Very, very powerful card. As a new player who's never played in a paper format, I got some cards from a friend, so I'm going to go to a local tournament to have some fun. Is there a place where I could learn some of the etiquette beforehand, like how to pass your turn and so on? It's very different depending on where you go, and especially if you're just like playing at a local game store, things are usually pretty casual. The biggest thing I can tell you if you've never played paper before is that like judges are there to help, so if you have any questions with anything, just don't be afraid to call for a judge. Alright, sweet. So we'll get to combo them next turn, which is great. Took a couple of hits here, but... So you gotta enable... In order to combo on Magic Arena, you do have to enable full control mode. So now, in response to this trigger, I go ahead and I status this. So now, it gets Death Touch, and both their creatures die. That's a good draw. Yeah, it looks like they're playing the girl deck from the Grand Prix. Woo-tastic. Thank you for the Prime support. I appreciate that. There's a lot of great people who can ship your Bezo bucks to every month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending them my way this month. Alright, so this is probably a Colossus. But I think I'm okay with that. No, it's just a trade. They have a collision here, and they're just going to kill the Hellkite. That's fine. And again, I'm just going to give this a 1-1 counter. The fact that they already burned a collision means they're less likely to have a second. There's no guarantee that they don't, but they're less likely to. If I get to untap with this Hellkite, the game's probably over. It's going to close out real fast, and I have like these copies of status in my hand. Oh, I missed a damage here. I should have done this before I dealt damage for the turn. I always forget this card gives 1/1, because that's usually not the part you're using it for. You could maybe even argue that I'm supposed to wait to do that, just in case they play a haste creature out this turn. Thanks, Phased Out. I like to go full on when we meme. No half memes around here. Legion Warboss is probably a little slow here. Fountain of Renewal seems fine. Eldest Reborn's probably better than Karn. Karn seems a little bit clunky. Yeah, there's been a lot of login and connection issues since the patch. Had issues like getting disconnected and then not being able to log back in accordingly when we get reconnected. Yeah, the curve on this deck's real interesting. This looks fine. Lava Coil's pretty reasonable here. Shivan Fire kicks up nicely, which is great. Or it can just be used to kill this. Want to kill the Growth Chamber Guardian now, so that way we don't get into a cat and mouse dance about when they're gonna adapt it. Putting off unpacking for me. You don't gotta put off unpacking. I'll be here. Maybe I'm supposed to hold on to this, but they did also miss a land drop. If they have a Phoenix, I'm gonna be sad that I burned this. Again, extra monitors are definitely a way of life. Angrath probably gonna lock this game up pretty quickly. If he's not, the Eldest Reborn and these removal spells will. Elevator going up. Thunk.
Please run. A chase stokes the forge.
Yeah, we played a couple of Dire Fleets before. The card's okay. I don't think it's anything to really write home about. It's like fine against control and like okay against aggro. Just like never very great against either, just okay against both.
Best start thinking fast. You're on your own. Here, meet your
Yoink.
crew for my freedom.
Why would you want to replace the second Angrath? He's so wonderful, chat.
Back to the devil's chains and the storm sea I go.
You can just take their Siege Gang commander, right? Or do I just like get my Angrath back again? Yeah, I'm just gonna get my Angrath back.
No fire, no steel.
This card's really good. Just super flexible. Like that destroys enchantments and stuff. I've heard this song before, opponent.
The unallowered fool! No fire, no steel.
I'll be a little conservative here and just statue this. Not gonna play this out and like let them draw a collision or something and take my Angrath off the table. Well, I thought I put a stop in. Turns out I didn't. They're dead, right? We just do yoink, yoink the bird, play the dragon.
Your crew for my freedom. A fair price.
Rawr, rawr. Flying creatures are great. Flying creatures are really, really good. Hammer him down. Have you heard the good word of our Lord and Savior Angrath? His animations are on point here too. Has the delay from viewing been increased? The delay you're going to get is going to vary depending on how good your connection is and what device you're viewing from. Things like mobile devices and Chromecast tend to have a much greater delay than something like a desktop computer. Don't need a second Hellkite at the moment. Yep, yeah, this is one of the many decks that you can find on my website. This deck's been great. I like this list a lot. Sweet, we're playing against Nexus, it looks like, which is a matchup that I'm interested in seeing play out, so glad to be playing this. No fire, no steel. Psalm 666, the Book of Angrath. The 4-color Gates deck just doesn't have enough play to it for my liking to be something that I would play in a tournament. The 4-color Gates deck is one of those you just, like, put your stuff on the table and ask if it's good enough. And I don't think its aggressive matchups are quite good enough for my liking. Someone say, Boda, thank you for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. I appreciate it. Leave me on a road trip. Well, I hope you have a good trip. Stay safe. Have fun. All that jazz. I need green mana, Zach. If I had green mana, I would have kept it, but I need to dig for a green source here. I guess I have Treasure Map. Alright, Treasure Map's a green source, so maybe you're right. Yeah, this should be Rakdos Guildgate. I get it, you're smart. You found the quarter piece. It basically doesn't matter. There's a small 30% or whatever percenter you want to talk about where it matters. It generally doesn't. Dead of Bird, thanks for the 3/4 of a year. Welcome back. Getting Legion Warboss blinked instead of my treasure map that's about to flip feels good. They have another blink. That's rude. I'm bottoming that, looking for a green source. Alright, so now that I found one... How many cards are in here? Only 3. I think I just want to play Legion Warboss and get pressure going here. They could theoretically combo me next turn, but remember, just disrupting your opponent doesn't do anything. You need to be killing them too. So I think it's important that I actually try and kill them here. They don't have any card advantage going on at the moment. They're gonna have to take a lot of turns to flip the search for Escanator here. So I think it's worth taking a risk. Just double Growth Spiral in to take a turn, flip the Escanator right away. That would be super punishing. Only 5 cards in here though, right? They need 2 more cards in there in order to this isn't good games by any means. Again, I took a calculated risk. If they don't flip search, if they don't hit the Nexus this turn, we're gonna be in an okay spot. I suppose they're on 7 land, so they can crack this Memorial and like play a land and have a Nexus. But you just need to be aware of the fact that, like, you're gonna lose games if you don't pressure these decks out of the game. And, like, it feels bad to put my threat into play here and potentially lose, but it doesn't mean playing my threat is necessarily wrong. Especially when it's a threat like Legion Warboss that snowballs and does more damage the longer it's around. Well, I guess they don't even need to draw land, because it's only 5 to activate. Alright, so if they hit Nexus here, we're probably dead. Sweet. They didn't. God bless. Gil, could you look at my control deck, please? Or my sideboard, please? We got a bunch of ways to interact with the Nexus deck on the sideboard. So many. So many. And, like, Nexus is one of those decks where it feels so bad to lose to the Nexus deck that people instinctually just want to have way more cards than are feasible or reasonable. We've got plenty of anti-Nexus cards in our sideboard. Yeah, some people want to quit on the spot, and I get it. I agree. This archetype that my opponent is playing is incredibly frustrating to play against, and as someone who's never wanted to play Best of 1 Magic before, the fact that Nexus is banned in Best of 1 kind of makes me want to try Best of 1. But it's just because it's tedious to play against, right? Like, we're in a good spot here, but it still just doesn't feel... This game we're playing doesn't feel good, even though we're a little bit ahead. Because you never really know, right? It's not strictly better, Danny, because they get their Search for Azcanta triggered during their upkeep. So by doing it during their upkeep, I'm giving them an extra look at a card to filter their card quality out. So you're right, it's slightly better to do it during their upkeep if they have a Frilled Mystic, but if they have Frilled Mystic there, they still get to Azcanta that turn, so I'd rather just deny them the ability to... whatever it's called. I don't have any more interaction here. One of the reasons why, and this is one of the things, one of the reasons why Nexus was so good in Best of 1, is a little bit worse in Best of 3, is because the Nexus archetype, we have these cards like Lava Coil in my main deck, for instance, here, that are just, like, not good in this matchup, but are cards that are necessary for me to main deck to have a chance in the format. So, like, I'm forced to play cards that are inoptimal because this is game 1. So post-board, basically every reasonable deck in the format is better game 2 against Nexus than they are in game 1. Nexus is strongly favored game 1 against most non-mono blue tempo decks. Yeah, I agree, Gorks. I agree. Yeah, Attack with All does now work with must-attack creatures. A lot of great improvements in this application. Well, they have a fog, chat. Yeah, they have a fog. They have a card that says they're not going to take combat damage this turn. That's the other thing about the Nexus deck. When they pass the turn to you, if you're a deck that's killing with combat, which most decks are, they're still not really passing the turn to you, right? They're going to deny us the most valuable portion of our turn. Someone had talked about cutting Legion Warboss from this deck. Matches like this are what make Legion Warboss so important. Alright, if they cast an Nexus of Fate here, I'm going to concede because they have double Wilderness Reclamation plus Flip Search for Azcanta. They could theoretically brick off here, which is the tedious part of playing matchups like this, why they're boring to play is because I have to sit here, and then even when they cast the first Nexus, they could theoretically still brick off. So if you're being 100% optimal, you should technically still not be conceding. But for the sake of television and my sanity, I concede when we're mostly dead. Shock is actually great here. It means I have lethal if they don't have the fog. Fog, no counterspell, we kill them. But they also, like, didn't have a Nexus, so the chance of them not having fog and not having counterspell are, like, incredibly low. And then we should still just be dead here.
No fire.
Because they get 3 Search for Headscant activations. I'm going to make them cast a Nexus next turn. Their first Nexus is going to snowball fine. But on the off chance they miss on 13 looks into 22 cards for their 4 of Nexus of Fate. That's how low the odds are here. They have to miss on their draw step and 3 Headscant activations. I think this deck is better, Bob. This deck has a lot more efficiency in it. Goblin Chainwhirler is a real good Magic card. All right. Oh, and they get an Headscant to look. They get 14 looks, right? So. All right, I'm done. On to this one. Alright, all the Cindervines in, Lava Coil's out, Shivan Fire's out, couple of Shocks out, Eldest Reborn versus Shock. Shock's probably a little bit better. Let's do it. You know, with 4 Cindervines in my sideboard, I think I want this 1 Swamp to be an Overgrown Tomb. I think I'm probably going to make that change. I don't really need a basic swamp for searching purposes, I don't think. Have a good one, Yob. As always, everything will be up on YouTube later tonight. Honestly, like, the thing that isn't even super tedious about Nexus isn't even just the Nexus. It's the fact that Wilderness Reclamation, you have to sit there and, like, watch them flip mana and stack triggers and all this other stuff. It's just like, whatever. Very whatever. I would love to play first. I mean, as far as hands without interaction go, this hand's like super reasonable. This is the only non-red land in my deck. Hey, Rosa, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month. Stuff. Yeah, the Sultai Nexus deck is the least erroneous of the Nexus decks I've played, but like that's like an incredibly low bar. Perfect. Dunk. Gonna scry with the swamp here. Lets us guaranteed play Angrath this turn, or possibly find like a Cindervines or something to work on this. They played an Incubation Druid. That's weird. I would love a status. YouTube Lurker because of work. Thanks for sharing on one of your previous videos that Amazon Prime members get a free subscription. Well, thank you for taking the time to drop in on Twitch, even though you mostly watch on YouTube, Rosa. I appreciate the support. Thanks for keeping me around. Now I just do this, right? Since they blocked. I was gonna statue, but I think we just chain him. This is pretty far from flipping, so like giving them one more look here is not bad. This deck's been very good. It's been one of the higher win rate decks that I've played this season for sure. It's one of the couple of decks that I'm considering for the Twitch Rivals event on Wednesday. Oh, so this is 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hellkite is technically lethal if they don't have a fog or a blink. Is it right to do that? It might be right to do that just because they're so far off of Azcanta. They have blink or a fog. I think that's probably wrong. And a Duress here. I could Duress into Dragon, so let's do this and see if we need a Duress to start. I think I want to just destroy an enchantment this turn. I think I want to kill Reclamation at this point. The fact that they're still at 4 here means that with Angrath, they live through a fog next turn, which kind of sucks. Hey, Some Beach, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Yeah, we could draw our one shock. Or Cindervines. Cindervines would have killed them here as well. Dig, dig, dig. Alrighty. And that's the other side of the Azcanta matchup, right? Just like, or the Nexus matchup. Like, even when you win, it doesn't feel very compelling. It feels like, oh, they didn't do their thing and then they died because their deck didn't work. Doesn't feel like super compelling as far as gameplay lines are concerned. No, winning with no Duress, no Cindervines is pretty good though. We did have a statue, which is nice. The fact that we have like 8 ways to kill enchantments post board is A+. What decks does this deck line up well against initially? You mean pre-board? I don't know. Probably decks that are weak to Goblin Chainwhirler. Yeah, it feels like you got lucky and they bricked. Which, even if statistically that didn't happen, emotionally that's the response I almost always feel. Hey, Ventress. Thank you for the 6 months of support. I appreciate the half year. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Pretty easy mulligan here. All our lands are tapped. I don't have a Duress. I don't have a Cindervines. I don't have all 3 of my colors. Stike, we're checking in with the 35 months. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. If I turn 1 Duress, I can't turn 2 Cindervines, so I'm going to turn 2 Cindervines here. I'm saying that most of the Nexus decks feel like KCI chalky. Yeah, we played Rix Maddie in earlier builds. I think I like Treasure Map more. What's the bits to dollar conversion for deck submissions? 100 bits is $1. Another month of top-notch memes. Redbeard, thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. I think I just take their Chemist's Insight here. Like, I know that they can jumpstart it, but, like, this gives them one less draw to you. Nah, Spell Pierce isn't a card that I'm really worried about playing around. It's not a card that's super common in my opponent's deck. Cindervines up to the old 2-pointer here. Alright, they're scraped up. They're up to 4 cards in their bin here. 5 cards. Am I supposed to pop this off and deal with the Search for Azcanta? I kind of feel like I am. Is that crazy? Like they just binned another one. Yeah, they can win through vines. They have ways to destroy it, and they have like Blink of an Eye and stuff like that. I'm gonna go ahead and blow this up. The fact that they binned another Search for Azcanta makes me want to more so do that. I don't want my opponent to like end step, play a Fog just to get a card in their discard pile, and then like untap and flip the Search for Azcanta. Pretty punished there, but it's impossible to know that they have a third one, right? Sally can crumble sometimes. Yeah, a lot of the Nexus combo decks play 3 or even 4 Azcantas because it's the card they used to combo off with. I mean, we're okay if they're incredibly unlucky, which is again just kind of goes back to like the whole thing of how the matchup works, right? Nexus of Fate is only banned in best of 1. In formats with sideboards, it is still legal. To make a comparison, playing against Nexus of Fate feels a lot like playing Artifact. Even when I'm kind of winning, I still feel like I'm behind, which is not good from a game design perspective to have your players have that emotional response. Thanks, Billum. They have double Nexus here. I'm going to go ahead and concede. I agree, Bob. That is... Some people are asking me if this is still my favorite standard format ever. It's still a good format, but I definitely like it less than last season's standard format when Nexus of Fate was a meme deck and not a competitive deck that was everywhere. Definitely preferred it as a meme and not as something that's real. The actual win condition of the opponent's deck, if you've never seen anyone make them play it out, they just cast Hydroid Crisis or Frilled Mystic and then attack you with it a few times while they take infinite turns. That even when you're in the lead, you're relying on RNG to not screw you over. And that's exactly what I feel like in the position of, well, he's got nothing. I hope. But if he gets lucky, he wins. Yep. Completely agree. And just, like, doesn't really do a whole lot. My deck is, like, interested in playing 5 lands out, though. I think this matchup's okay in general for us, but this hand is not stellar. I agree, Foxconn. I agree from power level perspectives that Nexus of Fate isn't doing anything that's overly offensive. But remember that these are games that people play for fun. So the fact that people feel like they're not having fun playing their game should be a reason the game designer should step back. And like, obviously some people enjoy playing Nexus of Fate, but I don't, it's probably not a stretch to reach out to the conclusion that they're the exception, not the rule. It's less good than it was 30 seconds ago. I led on the not red source because I wanted to put my Shockland into play tapped. Thank you for the bits, Pokemon nerd. Warboss is really bad in the creature matchups and the mid-range matchups, but it's very important against both the control decks and Nexus of Fate. So you board it out in matchups like this, but I think it's very important in a lot of places. Nah, I love the mono blue matchup. Mono blue matchup is super interactive. Ton of back and forth. The fact that they have interact back with you is reasonable too. When I'm dead to the mono blue deck, it's very apparent that I'm dead to the mono blue deck. Nah, I think just killing Obsession is not worthwhile. I think maybe if I had a bunch of bad cards in my deck that I needed to take out, I could consider boarding in Cindervines, but I don't think Cindervines is better than any of the cards that I currently have in my deck. Yeah, but, like, the extent through which it happens, Foxicon, is a big deal as well. So, like, when the thing you hate losing to is over quickly, the thing these other people hate losing to is long and excruciating. So the duration through which you suffer matters. Yeah, and I think it's fine to have a card like, like Warboss in the main deck that's kind of mediocre against creature decks, because so much of our deck is really good against creature decks. Honestly, thank you for doing what you do and supporting beliefs that you have. I was watching a YouTube video / VOD of the thing. Yeah. Well, thanks for being here, Dubber. I'm just not shy about saying where I stand on the issues. Search Mirror is very common in the sideboards of these decks. Counterspell me, baby. This card's really good in this format. Super, super happy to be playing a couple copies of Rekindling Phoenix. Yeah, I agree, Cage World. All right. Do you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything I want? I am one of those. Do 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 do. Do you have a spell pierce? Or maybe a wizard's retort? Survey says. You have a bounce spell? Okay, this is cheeky. Rude. Rude. I like it. I like it. That's good. Good line. Bye-bye, birdie. Yeah, for sure. Tight line by the opponent, for sure. I'm going to get to resolve Dragon next turn, though, now. And I'm still at 10, so unless there's a sleep in our future, we should be in a pretty good spot. Defense. Defense. Another exclusion mage could maybe put us behind here. Yeah, they're gonna hit us 4-6 now. Would really like to draw a land next turn, so that way we can Lava Coil plus Phoenix. If that happens, I'm still alive. But dead do a lot right now. Nah, I don't think I'm in a position to beat Sleep this game. It's a pretty high upside play to get the dragon going. They have a dive down. Yeah, good game. Sometimes they have all the things. And at the top of Mythic, there's a lot of mono blue. Deck did very well at the Grand Prix this weekend, so I don't think it's gonna be going anywhere. How are we doing, folks? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody, wherever you're at in the world. Thanks for hanging out here today. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, 50 hours a week. If you are someone who enjoys standard best of 3 constructed, this is definitely the channel for you. We play a ton of different decks. Usually I change decks every 60 to 90 minutes or so. As always, a big shout out to all my wonderful subscribers. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their wonderful support. They're quite literally the folks that keep me employed. I'd also like to mention some of my wonderful sponsors here really quick. Nerd Rage Gaming Championship Series, a $5,000 cash tournament series that happens every single month in the Midwestern United States. If you can't make it out to play in one of their standard, modern, or legacy tournaments, be sure to check out their streaming coverage as well at twitch.tv/NRG series. BCW Supplies are the only ones I trust to predict my wonderful shuffling deck and other paper Magic the Gathering cards. Using code Jeff10 at bcwsupplies.com, you can save 10% on sleeves, deck boxes, binders, and all sorts of other fantastic gaming accessories there. Their Elite Guard 2s recently just came out, and they are only $8 before my discount for 100 quality sleeves. Neo provides wonderful candy-flavored protein bars. Using code Hoagland at bit.ly/HoagleBar. You can save 10% on your orders there with them. And of course, I'd like to welcome everyone out there to Hoaglandia. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now, and I appreciate you dropping in to spend part of your day here with us. Dexter Recker, thank you for the 13-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I still be doing Modern. I do Modern, or I do Magic Online every single morning to start the day. You can find my schedule, including what formats I play on which days, on my website here. You're very, very organized around these parts. You never left guessing. That hand just doesn't really do anything, right? Looking for some lands. Looking for some lands. Do. I don't think TCC's done the latest BCW sleeves yet. Last I looked, he had not. They just came out. They came out at the beginning of the month, so I don't know if he's had his hands on the samples yet. All right, if we draw lands here, we get to play Magic. If we don't, Magic happens, and we'll move on to the next game. Okie dokie. I'm gonna go ahead and shock this proactively here, so this way, if my opponent has Wizard's Lightning in their hand, they're cut off of having a Wizard. If we draw land for the next 3 turns, we get to play this Hellkite on 5. We might have a shot. I think missing our land drop there is probably a death knell. Mono temples until. Thoughts on WotC announcing no more MSRP on products? Well, that's just like some hot nonsense, right? We are in fact playing Jund Gates. Good read. Good read. It's possible I should just concede here rather than showing them the statue, because the statue lets them know that I'm playing Jund Whirler. I am really surprised I'm not dead. Their hand just must be all Chain Whirlers, right? It can't be shock because I'd have died, right? I took my draw step for the turn there, because if I drew the 5th land, I wanted to be able to play the Hellkite out. Cannonade, Fountain of Renewal, Karn all seem okay here. Legion Warboss is fine. Angrath's a little slow. This card can be slow in general, but Statue is important for killing Experimental Frenzy if they draw that, so I think it's important that I leave all those in. Cindervines is really pretty slow against mono red, and I think it's worse than Statue on average. I think Cannonade in this matchup is more a case of it's less bad than it being good BMEC. I agree that Cannonade's not stellar in this matchup, but I think it's better than the cards that are currently in my sideboard. This deck sideboard seems really awkward. I feel like I simultaneously don't have enough cards for aggro and don't have enough cards for, like, control, which probably means it's got some issues. For a bit, enjoy the ride. Whoop. Glad I didn't just try and sit down. My chair had pushed way back. No, outside of we're just not streaming it, they really haven't announced anything about the Grand Prix coverage. Yeah, we're doing okay. This deck's been a bit less good today than it was in previous iterations. Previous runs. I don't think it's worth shocking this one to make the treasure map activate again. There's a website called MTG Arena Pro that will give you percentages for things you own from the set. It's a third-party application. Yeah, they finally announced coverage for the Mythic Championship, which people would be pretty tilted if there was no effective Pro Tour coverage. I'm gonna cash this in as a way to just gain life here. Like, obviously, they're gonna have a burn spell to kill my Phoenix, but my Phoenix is then taking a burn spell, and it's taking a hit from the Chainwhirler, which I think is a worthwhile exchange for me. Well, especially with, like, this treasure map in play and the Fountain of Renewal going on, the longer the game goes, the more likely I am to win. So I'm just, like, do my best to. Chainwhirler's, like, a worst-case scenario for me, just because, like, it didn't cost them a card to kill my egg. It doesn't actually pop up an invite, Fab. You have to open your connections tab in Discord and click join server where it says you're linked to your Twitch account. It doesn't actually pop up something and say, hey, you were invited to a server. You have to open your connections tab and then it'll show the thing. You'll need to contact Discord support then. Discord is not my software. Sorry. Your Twitch account is listed in your connections. I mean, okay. Yeah, it should show it in the same list, Fat Man. So it's definitely a bug on Discord's end if you can see another streamer server and not mine. So unfortunately, not a whole lot I can do about that. You cannot make that play without full control mode. You have to go full control to respond to your own triggers. Otherwise Arena auto passes priority after your triggers go on the stack. Arena would be, the rate of play would be incredibly slow if Arena did not auto pass priority after it puts your trigger on the stack. So you want Arena to auto pass priority. Have a good one, thanks. I assume we're dead here. I assume they're gonna, like, end step 3S, untap 3S. Or end step shock us, untap 3S. What's going on, Wolfie? Thanks for the 3 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Alright, I think I'm pretty off this deck for today. We've gotten like, thoroughly beat up and pushed around. So, I don't know. We had some good runs. If you haven't seen this deck before and you think it looks interesting, we've had some good runs with it before. I definitely think we had a little bit of bad beats today, but I think I'm disillusioned from the fact that, like, it's not broken enough to the point of I don't really want to play this on Wednesday. I'd rather just, like, play something else that's more fun, that I enjoy a little bit more. Just, like, random mid-range deck that's just, like, doing some interesting things, but not anything particularly exciting. Yeah, so my beard is a different color because we used a different dye on it. Beard hair tends to be more coarse and thick, especially when my hair is thinning, so it's definitely thicker than the top of my head, but it's more coarse than the top of my head as well, and they didn't think the pink dye would work as well. The bright pink dye would work as well on the beard. It was going to look different anyways. If you might as well blend it into something that's a different color.